Hello, my name is Lou, and today I will be reading to you the classic fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen titled The Snow Queen. This is a new adapted version by Naomi Lewis. Once, in a great town, lived two poor children. They were not brother and sister, but they were just as fond of each other as if they were. He was called Kay, and she Gerda. They lived next door to each other in attics at the tops of two houses. They could step across and meet in the strip of roof between. Each attic home had a small side window, one facing the other. Outside each window, a rose bush had been planted in a wooden pot. The trailing branches met overhead, and under them the children sat and played. One summer, the little girl learned a song with a verse about roses, and she sang this to the little boy. In the vale, the rose grows wild. Children play all the day. One of them is the Christ child. In winter, when white snowflakes cover the roof, the grandmother told them of the Snow Queen, who flew through the dark clouds and covered the windows in icy patterns. "If she came here," said Kay, "I'd put her on the stove and she would melt." But grandmother smoothed his hair and told them other tales. One day, Kay told Gerda, "Grandmother says I may take my sledge to the big square with the other boys." The game the boys liked best was to tie a sledge to the back of a farmer's cart and so be carried along. On this day, while the boys were playing, a great white sleigh came into the square, driven by someone in a thick fur cloak and white fur hat. Kay quickly tied his little sledge to the big sleigh and started to ride behind. They went faster and faster out of the square and into another street. Whenever Kay began to untie the rope, the driver would turn round and nod in a friendly way, so Kay was still there when the sleigh drove out of the city gates. Kay was afraid and managed to loosen the rope at last. It was no good. The little sledge still sped after the big one. They flew like the wind. Kay called out for help, but no one heard. Suddenly, the falling snowflakes parted like a curtain. The great sleigh stopped, and the driver rose. It was a lady, tall, slender, brilliantly white, the Snow Queen herself. "We have travelled far and fast," she said, "but you are cold." She lifted Kay beside her and put her white fur cloak around him. He felt as if he were sinking into a snowdrift. Then she kissed his forehead. Ah! The kiss was colder than ice. It went straight to his heart. But then the strange feeling passed. He seemed to feel perfectly well, and he no longer noticed the cold. Once again, the Snow Queen kissed him, and he forgot little Gerda and all his life at home. Kay looked at the Snow Queen. He could not imagine a wiser or lovelier face, and she flew with him high up into the dark storm clouds, while the wind whistled and roared as if it was singing old ballads. Over the forest and lake they flew, over land and sea. Beneath them the cold blast shrieked, the wolves howled, the black crows soared over wastes of glittering snow. But high over all shone the great clear silver moon, and Kay gazed at it all through the long winter night. During the day he slept at the Snow Queen's feet.